Hi, this is Dr. Farmer. I wanted to take some time to show you some things in SPSS that you're going to need for to do your data analyses. The first thing I wanted to show you was how to recode variables. Before you can do any analyses, you need to clean up your data. So let's take a look at a data file that I have already. This is a data file, and I'm going to use the self-esteem measure as an example. So if you look at this data file, the first thing you want to see is in SPS you have a variable view, which is what we're in now. This shows you all of your variables and the names for them. And you have a data view. Data view shows you what the actual data looks like. So participant 1 had a gender that equals 2. Participant 6 had a gender that equals 1. And then all the way across. Alright, so before you can actually perform analyses, say you have a self-esteem measure and you want to perform an analysis on it. Before you can do that, you have to create a self-esteem score. The self-esteem score is created by adding the total of all of the self-esteem items together, usually. But the way that you know this for sure is, remember I said that you need to have the scoring for all of your measures. So you go back to that scoring document for your measures and you will see how to score it. So this is my self-esteem measure, and usually it's at the bottom, and you see here, in order to score the self-esteem measure, we have to sum all of the self-esteem scores. And then, though, this is important, the following items are reverse scored. Now, reverse scoring means that if you have a scale here in the questions, they rate it from 1 to 4. Well, when you reverse score an item, 1 equals 4 and 4 equals 1. You just reverse score it. And the reason is that if we look at the items that are reverse scored, 3, 5, 8, 9, and 10, let's look at the way that they're worded. So for item 1, it says, I feel that I'm a person of worth, at least on an equal basis to others. That's a positive thing. So if I feel good about myself on a self-esteem measure, I'm going to put 1, strongly agree. Now if we look at the items that are reverse scored, number 3, for example, we'll go up here. Let's read 3. All in all, I am inclined to feel that I'm a failure. So now, strongly agree means that I have low self-esteem, whereas up here a 1 meant that I have high self-esteem. That's why we need to reverse score number 3, because it makes the 1 equals 4 and the 4 equals 1. I hope that's clear to you. I will also answer these questions when I come to town and we have a discussion about data analyses. But that just explains to you why you reverse score, because some items are worded in such a way that the 1 equals 4 and the 4 equals 1. So let me show you how to do this process. Now remember, we need items 3, 5, 8, 9, and 10 reverse scored. So I'm going to go in here to SPSS. I need to know what my self-esteem items are. For me, I labeled them SES 1 through SES 10. Now, one of the problems with our downloads from SurveyMonkey and from Google Forms is that the data set wasn't this clean. So you will have to go through and read the items and label them appropriately. Some of them will, have just the question, the words of the question there, and you may need to relabel that as SES 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. But in my data set, I can see and I know that these items here are the SES, are the self-esteem questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and recode those items that need to be recoded. In order to recode, you go up to Transform. You go to Recode into Same Variables. And then you go and we're going to expand this a little bit so that we can actually see. And then I see my self-esteem items. And we're going to remember which ones we need to. It's 3, 5, 8, 9, and 10. So I'll go back. And I need item 3, 5, 8, 9, 10. Old and new values. Now, if we look at our measure again, that's why y'all need to keep it handy. It'll tell us how we want to do it. So here we see that 1 would equal 4, 2 would equal 3, 3 would equal 2, and 4 would equal 1. You need to make sure that you do all 4 numbers reverse scored. So we're going to go in and we're going to say the old value, this says old value was 1. We want the new value to be 4. And then you have to click add, and it will add it in there. The old value was 2. We want the new value to be 3. We click add. The old value is 3. We want the new value to be 2. We click add. The old value was 4. We want the new value to be 1. We click add. You have to do all 4 numbers, because some people say, well, if I did 2 to 3, then it should know that 3 is going to be 2. That's not the case. You have to do all 4 numbers, 1 to 4, 2 to 3, 3 to 2, 4 to 1. You hit continue, and you hit OK. And it shows here that you've made a recode of adding variables 3, 5, 8, 9, and 10. 1 to 4, 2 to 3, 3 to 2, 4 to 1. This will now allow you to actually analyze the self-esteem measure the proper way. So before you can actually create a self-esteem score, you have to do all of your recodes and then do a self-esteem score. All right. So now we're ready to create a total self-esteem score by summing all 10 items. All right. So to create the self-esteem variable, you go to compute and you want to give it a name, self-S. It only allows you to have 8 characters in the name, and you need to put all of the items from the self-esteem up here separated by a plus sign. So it'll look like this. So in order to do that, you simply go self-esteem 1, you click on it, and then hit plus. Self-esteem 2, click on it, plus. Self-esteem 3, plus. Self-esteem 4, plus. Self-esteem 5, plus. Self-esteem 6, plus. Oh, you don't end it with a plus. And then you hit OK. And now you have computed self-esteem that sums 1 through 10. Make sure you check that you entered all 10 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if we go into variable view, whenever you create a new variable, it puts it at the very bottom of the data set. And here you have a self-esteem variable now. Now if we look at data view, and we go over to the end of the file. At the end of the file, we have self-esteem variable, and it shows you the sum total for every participant on self-esteem. So now all of your participants have a self-esteem score. And if you want to be really nerdy and check, we'll just look at the first one. It says that their self-esteem score is 10. If we go over to the first participant and we only look at the self-esteem scores, 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that tells you that it did it correct. There are 10 ones and their self-esteem score is correct. So that shows you that you've created the self-esteem score and the score is right. I hope this has been helpful. Remember, before you can create a total score on any measure, you absolutely must make sure that there are scores that need to be recoded, and if there are, you recode them. All measures do not have scores that need to be recoded, but many do. So you need to know that information before you can create a total score on any scale. And if you do not recode, it will show on your data because your data will not correlate properly and it will mess up everything. I hope this has been helpful. I look forward to talking to you again soon.